Well, today we're anticipating having a little bit nicer weather to do some outdoor work today. Hopefully get the clear on our sides. See, you never really do know. This time of year, every day, the weather is variable. It's always an adventure. And because we're using the leapfrogging technique of always trying to have some paint drying, some part ready to sand, well, it just helps us get a day like today. We have to make a plan and see how the weather's going to cooperate. The good news is Turbo Steve's tank is drying up beautifully. That just couldn't be any better. And he's away in LA having a great time checking out all the custom bikes in the area, or who knows what, making a drug deal, we don't know. We got our side cover up there for 2 days now, drying up by the heating vent. That paint should be ready to buff. Well, we could buff it today even. And the gold test we did yesterday, that should be ready to pull the tape off and get a little bit of a better look at how that's going to play out. Now this is the test piece of glass that we've been using for doing the test for this paint that we did. And because we're new to this paint, what we decided was early on in the day yesterday, I realized I would need 3 coats of gold, which I'm happy to do, but I put 3 coats on this glass also, and I want it, what I'm looking for now is the crispness of the paint edge. So as always pulling tape, I want to warm it up a little bit. Now the reason I'm looking is I can usually tell if paint has too much pigment, the edges can be a little rough. This looks pretty good, to be honest. Let me show it in a close-up. I'm not sure if you can see it, or in this case you can feel it. I know one thing you would never want to do with anything gold or silver or metallic, maybe all colors, but mainly these, is run a piece of sandpaper on that. I wanted to show something. This is just ordinary 2000 grit in Dasa. If I were to try to smooth that edge out now, of course it picks up the paint right away. Well, see the scratches I'm leaving in it? And I'm not sure you really can see them the way you can in real life. But those scratches would show in the final product. So the one thing on a paint edge like this, I never ever want to sand it. I can do several things. I can take a credit card. If this were a real part, I could take an ordinary credit card, shave it at 45 degrees. That'll, a little bit. Just a little bit like that. That helps. Never ever sand it. Another thing you can do is burnish it with a clean paper towel. That'll diminish it a little bit, but never use sandpaper. And believe me, that when you do that, you've almost got to repaint. So now that I know that I've got a good amount of what I hope is the right amount of pigment in the paint, I can just go about my business and take all of the back masking off of the parts and hope that the day is going to warm up a little and we can get some clear shot. So these are the test parts from yesterday. I just want to soften the tape up as I demask it. I just love the way that black and that gold together. That's going to be some nice, I think that's going to be a really nice combo when it's done. Now those lines are, I think we really made the right move not putting any more pigment in the paint, because the lines are like razor blade lines. Now what I'm also depending on is when John gets the final design of the logos and we're going to make our own masks. Because I don't want anything that doesn't exactly match that gold. I don't want to try to do it with any other process other than the same thing of paint. I know we'll be able to get those nice crisp lines using that formula of paint. So that much of it, I think I'm really, really happy the way that worked out. That's definitely a keeper. All right, now the only thing left to do, I'll do the other part off camera, and then that'll be at least one thing. We're well on the road now. That part actually right now, if the weather warmed up a little out there, it cleared up a little bit, we'll go get some clear on that and really see if it pops. Okay, with the other piece, all the tape taken off, and we always use heat, of course, but look, it's these points. To get these points on this type of trim, whether it's a model airplane or a motorcycle or a guitar, it's those points that really define the quality of the edge. That edge is like a razor blade did it. Now, what it's given me some confidence in is that when John and I settle on the emblems and the word Kawasaki that's going on the tank, if I razor out the stencil for the paint, I'll be able to paint that with that crisp of a razor edge, and that's going to change all the options that I have, because that gas tank, I want to move that Kawasaki word. I don't want it to be under the radar detector. I want it to be lower. This gives me a lot of confidence today. I really think that's going to look nice. And I've thought about this so often and changed my mind so often and made so many patterns, but in the end, when you get it exactly the way you're happy with it, it's all worthwhile. I wanted to thank Ray Straub and Ray and Marilyn again for loaning me this book. It's a coffee table book, and it really increased my knowledge of the history of motorcycles, which I always thought I knew quite a bit. Well, yeah, I guess we all do. This is a great book, but I got a lot out of it. And one of the things I thought was pretty cool is over the history of racing motorcycles, how many people have used the all black with a very small amount of gold paint trim. Now, when I painted my Amar bikes all black and gold, I had no idea, to be honest, I had no idea how many people back in the day used all black with gold trim. And it's funny how sometimes you think you know a lot about a subject, then you read a book like this and you realize you don't really know that much. Well, black and gold really has been a very popular motorcycle color combo over the years, I guess forever. So I guess it's something like Henry Ford said, you can have your antique motorcycle any color as long as it's black. And of course there is one thing to say about black anything, it really never goes out of style. Now, little known stuff. The dealership where I bought all my Suzukis, including the GS I have now, Westwood Suzuki, was a Laverda dealer. I never knew they made a V6. Little known. That's what I love about this book. Little known facts. Interesting facts. The Morbidelli Racer, the two-stroke, the crankcases were cast by Ferrari, so if you turn them over, the bottom of the oil pan has the Ferrari emblem. That's pretty cool. I see stuff I didn't know. I didn't know that Jawa made a V4. I thought they only made those dirt bikes that they made back when I was scrambling and running around on dirt tracks. Moto Guzzi V8. There is so much interesting stuff in this book. It blows me away. No, I didn't notice either. This is the Moto Rumi. This is the coolest thing, I think, in the whole book. Moto Rumi made the engines for Italian submarines, a two-man Italian submarine in World War II. And then they decided, well, they're going to go into motorcycle business, just use the same submarine engine. And so part of their logo on the gas tank, let me go over to this one, is a boat anchor. It's pretty cool. Now, I'm sure John Parthia could design up a little logo of a submarine, and I don't know, but cool. There's just no end to the amount of cool little stuff. And of course, the part of the book I enjoyed, maybe as much as anybody, dealing with the history of Yamaha racing. All these ladders, imagine how much money I could have made painting these. Actually, this picture here, it looks like at one time Luciano had two of these in his garage. I drove up with mine, and we could have made this picture. Of course, these are the racing ones, and we had the ones that come out of a dumpster, but we have just as much fun. What a great book, Ray. I can't tell you, I've enjoyed every page. And thanks for sharing it. And this is truly a book. It's beautiful gloss paper. It belongs, well, on your coffee table if you have a coffee table. But I guarantee once you read this, the only guy I know that knows a lot of this stuff is Dale. And Dale gave us the tour of his museum. And, well, this book is great. I really did enjoy literally every page. Okay, I'm waiting for the final approval. Do I get the final approval here?
Absolutely.
All right, it's ready for clear coat. We can go to production.
I love it.
I love it. How about me? Do you love me? A little bit.
Of course.
You know how much this cost me to get her to do this? So I got the final approval from the boss. And you know what I think is funny? I love watching all these car shows about doing the custom cars, even though I really don't have a lot of interest in cars. But they do something and they say, oh, time to go to paint. And all of a sudden a bunch of guys, you know, that didn't even see the car yet, they're painting it. Now we go to chrome, send out the chrome. You know the problem with being like, when you work out of your cellar, the go-to is always, you got to be the go-to. Anyway, I think we are ready for some clear. Now this is the clear that we're going to be using on the side covers. 7701, 7754 GAVCO. But it's basically the same. I have not found any difference than what we were using in the past, the 5-star. It seems to buff out exactly the same. No, I just couldn't be happier with the way that gold and the black, the accent look. Oh, that just, maybe I'm just lucky is the bottom line. That really, and that's only the first coat. Now I'm going to try to get 2 coats on this today. I'm going to give that 20 minutes to dry, work on the other part, get the other part done. Oh boy, and the weather is cooperating, the paint is cooperating. Oh man, I love that. If the weather holds out today, we are going to have a banner painting day. Oh, that looks so nice. Oh my God, does that look nice. I wish you could see this in real life, how nice it looks. Alright, this has got to dry 20 minutes. I'll have another cup of coffee and come out and put the second coat on. Well, for the first coat of clear, that's going to be just that's just beautiful. Now, I'm real happy. The thing I really like is the way that gold contrasts with the black, and of course we'll get this black buffed out. Obviously, that'll be really beautiful when we're done. Oh boy, I just couldn't be happier with that. Now, but again, I don't want to rush this. This takes a good 20 minutes to a half hour in this cold temperature, and then we'll be ready for the second coat. Well, we got 2 full coats on this, 2 nice wet coats. I think that's going to dry now a couple of days. Because of leapfrogging, we'll be able to work on other aspects of the restoration. Give that a minimum of 2 days to dry, and we'll be ready to wet sand it out, put the final coat on. Oh, I just think that, boy, did we take advantage of this day. Wow, amazing. I'm really hoping you can see the quality of that paint. I could see myself in that. Anyway, this has been a wonderful day. Hey, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And thanks for painting everything black. And thanks for watching, of course.